This is Rich and Charlie with the Operation Legacy Coaching Series, and we'd like to go over a special topic now, which is psychological obstacles and emotional barriers. It's not one of the actual 20 exercises, but it's a very important topic, so we'd like to cover it with you today. We talk about obstacles, Charlie, as being something that stands in the way or opposes, and a barrier is something to go over, around, or under, or through. A wall could be used as a metaphor for that. So what's your take on these obstacles and barriers?
Well, Rich, thanks. When we talk about psychological obstacles, when we talk about the psychology of how we think and how we approach life, many end up being self-imposed. I know that when I was transitioned out of the military in 1971, I had a certain mindset, the military mindset. But when I was a civilian, immediately when I was out, I still had a lot of the obstacles and barriers that were self-imposed. And there wasn't a book like Operation Legacy or a tutoring process as we're sharing with you now. So I have to deal with that stuff myself. But we have to be very, very careful that how we think about life and about how we view the world, much of that is self-imposed.
You know, in order to overcome a lot of these, Charlie, really important thing to do is to have some friends, some counselors and advisors just to talk to. These can be pastors, they can be people with wisdom or experience, or they can be professional counselors. And in order to speed up your ability to be able to sort through thoughts and feelings and to get back on track, sometimes it's really effective to go and talk to some friends, some pastors, or some professional counselors. There's nothing to be worried about with that. I do that from time to time in my life just to get a tune-up. Sometimes I bring my family with me and so forth, and it's been a really positive experience.
One of the things, Rich, that you just said about friends, we have to be very, very careful in who we associate with. One of the positive things about military people as they transition out, they want the camaraderie, they want the unity that they had in the military. And when we are out of the military in the civilian element, there isn't always that same camaraderie that we find out there. So we start thinking about they don't understand us, and we start becoming a recluse perhaps, and there's not a relatability factor. So we have to be, here's the main point, we have to be careful that we don't surround ourselves with people that are going to take us down a downward spiral. Because once we start that downward spiral, it's a little bit difficult to try and get back up if you don't have support. One of the other things that we have to be very, very, very careful, and I'm going to stress this a lot, and Rich, I think you'll agree, is that any medicine in the world that is taken and ingested, any medicine has side effects. That's any medicine for anyone. Now we have to be very careful if we're taking meds from the VA for stress, if we're having suicidal thoughts, if we're depressed. We have to be very careful because a lot of these meds, even though they can help physiologically, the side effects are pretty dangerous, and they in and of itself could cause suicidal thoughts, and it's been proven scientifically. So just be very, very careful of the choices, whether it's meds or other type of therapy from professionals that can help you get through those post-traumatic stress issues that we may have, or the depression. Just be really careful and do your research, and don't take those meds like they're candy, because it could be
Charlie,
very serious.
That's a really good point, and I actually would recommend, if you're under medical care or seeking medical treatment, a team of doctors. You have your traditional trained doctors. I would also recommend adding homeopathic doctors and MDs, naturopaths, and nutritionists, because a lot of the things that people are going through can be improved with diet and with cognitive thinking and with counseling. And I would not just leave my health to just one single viewpoint, one medical viewpoint. I believe in a team of doctors, and also educating ourselves on what's available and, really what the leading edge treatments are out there from not only traditional but homeopathic viewpoints.
Right.
So with that, One of the most common obstacles or psychological barriers that we impose on ourselves, whether we've been in the military or not, is procrastination. And I know I've dealt with procrastination. When I was younger, I always procrastinated on my homework. I didn't even know what it was, jamming in the night before. There's many things that are in our environment that actually promote procrastination, like too much TV watching, video games, Facebook, texting, and everybody knows what we're talking about. And that can just distract people, get them off of their life plan. It steals your dreams, it steals your goals. And this is something that is an epidemic in the country, and you really want to be able to be aware of the procrastination triggers in your life, and you want to be able to manage those.
Yeah, one of the other things, Rich, about procrastination, how I dealt with it, because I used to procrastinate a lot, and stop and think. When we're not focused and have a plan, it brings up ambiguity. We're not sure of where we're going. It's like going to the target range and not having a target to shoot. I mean, you're saying, where's my target? So just be very careful. One of the things that helped me is using a daily planner. Especially when you're transitioning out, when you think about the life wheel that we've been talking about, every aspect of your life, there's a lot to do. So when you have a priority of the things that need to be done and the most important things first, I started putting those at the top of the list of my daily planner of things that I needed to get accomplished. And then it started becoming a habit with me that I'd get the heavy stuff done first, so to speak, and then the lighter things that I needed to work on later in the day. So that might help you.
Yeah, that's great. And also within mind, body, and spirit, keeping your mind active, working on your to-do list with your body, diet, and exercise is really critical. And when you're out exercising, you're jogging, you're working out, it's releasing healing chemicals in your body. It also lifts you out of depression. And then as far as spirit, whatever your belief system is, if you exercise your belief system and you become really as whole as you can be in mind, body, and spirit, that will help to keep your mood up and help to lift you out of any depression that you might be plagued with.
Exactly. So when it comes to procrastination, one of the takeaways from this session, and page 116 and 117, go more into that and journaling all your thoughts. When you have a reason to do something, and that's what we call your why, quote unquote, that is your why. Why do you need to get this done? When it's important enough for you, you'll make it at the top of your list and you'll really get that done. Procrastination, there are many reasons for procrastination. So whatever excuse I have used, whatever excuse you're using, and I'm going to call it an excuse, I'm going to say that with a smile, just be aware that when you get the tough stuff done first, everything gets a little bit easier.
Thanks, Charlie. 3 other emotional barriers that we want to avoid are fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I call it the FUD principle, F-U-D, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Charlie, do you know that these emotions are usually very unfounded? They're usually not based on fact. They're usually based on myth. And what you are having fear and uncertainty and doubt and anxiety about, if you actually dig a little deeper and look at the facts surrounding those feelings, you say, why am I feeling this way? And you look for the facts, most of the time it's unfounded. Right. Something that's building up within us, and just by having that data and that knowledge, it won't be a problem anymore. So you want to be aware of the FUD factor, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and avoid that. Dig into the facts and data, and you'll be set free from that level of anxiety.
Exactly. One of the acronyms of FEAR has been used as an acronym, false evidence appearing real. And so, don't be fearful of the transition process, or don't be fearful of things in your life. Obstacles, I promise you, obstacles are coming. Okay, some small, maybe some not so small. But the uncertainty is because we don't have a plan and we don't have a target. When you think about doubt and you start doubting yourself, we have an exercise that we'll talk about a little bit later, but when you start doubting yourself, start thinking about all the experience and all the knowledge and all the accomplishments that you have had in the military. Because in the military, everything is a mission, and you have a lot of successes. So, take inventory of those skills. You have to also, on page 118, you also have to be very, very careful of old baggage. You know, some of us have carried old baggage with us, and some military people will continue to carry baggage. Some of the guys and ladies from Vietnam, mostly guys in Vietnam, most of the guys have been living with this baggage for 40 and 45 years. And we know some personally that in just discussions of post-traumatic stress and describing stories, it took them back 45 years back to the experience. So just be very, very careful of that old baggage, and we'll show you ways as we go through the book to hopefully arrest that and make it much better for you.
Yeah, you younger guys and girls, veterans, active duty, we appreciate you. We appreciate your service. We do not want you carrying this baggage around for 30, 40, 50 years. We want you to be able to look at it, face it, deal with it, let it go, and move on with your life plan. Another problem that becomes an obstacle is actually the lack of problem-solving skills. And these are very simple, and we have them listed here in the book on page 120. There's 4 steps to problem solving. Whenever you look at a problem, don't view it as something that's going to make you quit or give up. Just view it as an obstacle that you're going to go around, under, over, or through. So we provide all the steps here for doing that. Problems are actually opportunities for improvement. And anyone that's been super successful says they become successful by just overcoming a series of obstacles and problems. If you remember the minefield of life that we talked about earlier in the book, we know we're going to have trials, we know we're going to have problems, but we're not going to be blindsided by them because we have problem-solving skills and we have awareness, and we'll be ready when they come after us.
Exactly.
Remember, we have a network of mentors. We have all the experts that we've networked with, and we'll be able to go and talk to people and have people that know how to overcome these specific obstacles that help us get through them.
Right. You know, one of the other things, and I'll just give you my last tidbit on problems. When you become a problem solver, and that's what we did in the military, anytime we had obstacles, we came up with solutions. When you can face every day of your life looking for solutions, when you can help yourself, your family, or companies that you work for come up with solutions to problems, they will pay you for that. When you bring value to an organization in your profession, job, career, business, when you bring value, the world pays for value. So become solution oriented instead of focusing on problems. Yes, you might have a little bit of a problem, but think about it as a solution.
And the last tip that I want to leave you with is that we always have something to be appreciative of. If you're feeling a little blue, you're feeling a little depressed, one of the best ways to pull out of that is to go over your list of what you appreciate. And there's simple things from a good cup of coffee to some friends to just living in this country with the freedoms that this country gives us is always something to be appreciative of. There's always people, no matter what our circumstances are, that are way less well off than we are, and there's always something to be appreciative of. So get a piece of paper, and there was an exercise earlier in the book, make that list of the things you appreciate, carry that with you. If you're feeling a little down, you take a look at that. It'll help to boost you up. So you have what you appreciate, get some exercise, be surrounded by friends that are healthy and positive and upbeat, and you won't have to deal nearly as much with these psychological obstacles and barriers as you normally would.
Exactly. Very
so
good.
We're going to move on to the next exercise. So you guys go take a break and then come on back, and we'll be talking about exercise 12, analysis and tools. Thanks.